Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Deku was taught by the past part 1. If you guys enjoy this what if and want to see part 2, comment down below and let me know before I start. Please do support for more awesome content and leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also share this video with your friends and check out the description in my playlist. The author of the story 𝗧𝗵𝗲 from fanfiction. So let's start the video. Izuku Midoriya was born quirkless. He had always wanted to be hero. So here he was standing up to his friend again. It was not going well. I hadn't gone well since he was 4 and the diagnosis came in. 𝗏𝗏 or 𝗵𝗃𝗲 or King Explosion Murder had been his friend until his quirk manifested and Izuku's didn't. Then everything changed. Absolutely everyone began to heap praise onto 𝗏𝗏, telling him how great he was going to be, how he was going to be next great hero, and how he was the best. Now the thing with telling a 4-year-old all this is that it tends to go to their head. 𝗏𝗏 was already kind of a hothead to begin with. Some scientists believed that people's quirks would influence a person's personality, though there was far from concrete evidence on that. His parents were not very good in reining this in, as his mother was just as much as a hothead and his father was not timid per se, but definitely did run his house in any way, shape, or form, and he liked it that way. Over the next 4 years, 𝗏𝗏 had developed a rather screwed-up view that he was the top of the mountain and everyone else was lesser than. The weaker the quirk, the more a person was a pebble for him to grind underneath his foot, and he moved towards his destiny. Now factor into this, there was this quirk-less piece of trash that was constantly following him around, telling him how he was going to a hero just like him. I mean, how is that even possible? And to make matters worse, no matter what he did, this trash kept coming back and getting in his way. Take today, for example. He had already left the trash laying in a heap in the back of the school once during lunch and then again after school, and here he was again. Deku, as he called him, as did the whole school, even some teachers. This made 𝗵𝗃𝗲 very happy. Was here getting in his face, spouting the same old bullshit as before. Heroes don't do this. Why are you doing this? Blah. Blah. Look, it wasn't 𝗵𝗃𝗲's fault that the stupid kid had not played the game of heroes and villains exactly like he wanted. Even though he never said it exactly. All the stupid extras should know, and if not, it was his job to teach them. As Deku was spouting his normal nonsense, 𝗵𝗃𝗲 drew back his fist and palm struck him in the gut, letting off a damn good explosion, honestly one of his best. He always managed to pull off bigger explosions when dealing with Deku. He thought. Maybe he does have a use after all. A vicious thought crossed 𝗵𝗃𝗲's mind. He had seen this in movie he watched last night. He stepped back and gave himself a running start. He was going to kick him so hard in the face that this stupid Deku was going to have to eat his meals through a straw. Izuku was on his hands and knees, panting heavily, and in so much pain. He could smell the burned flesh. He knew that he was going to have a very hard time hiding this one. He was wondering if 𝗏𝗏 had realized what he had done and was feeling bad, and maybe they could be friends again. What the hell is wrong with me, he thought. No, 𝗏𝗏 is a good guy. I can reach him, I know it. Holy shit, kid, you are fucking stupid. What the hell is that? OMG, are you my quirk? I have no idea what you are talking about, but move left now. Izuku rolled to his left in excruciating pain. Get up, kid, you have to get up. He struggled to his feet. 𝗵𝗃𝗲 had gone for his punt kick, missed, caught massive amount of air before landing hard on his back, earning a large gasp and snickers from other extras. This absolutely infuriated 𝗵𝗃𝗲. He started to get to his feet, swearing up a storm as he looked at Deku. Oh no, he is really pissed now. Yeah, I noticed that. What do I do? What do I do? Punch him in the fucking nose. I can't do that, I don't even know how. A mental image flooded him of him taking a step forward, twisting his hips, arm extending, knuckles slightly down and hitting 𝗏𝗏 in the nose. Now do it just like that. Izuku was quite sure why he listened, but listen he did. Now let's not say that this was the most epic punch in the history of the world, but for Izuku, he was All Might delivering the smash to end all smashes. His arm rocketed forward, knuckles coming down in a slight arc, and right on the nose. Blood flew. 𝗏𝗏 stumbled back, blood gushing from his nose. BWUP the fuck. What now? Kick him in the dick. I can't do that. Kick him in the fucking dick now, goddammit. The voice roared loud and deep, with a definite authoritative tone to it. Izuku did exactly as he was told and kicked 𝗵𝗃𝗲 with everything he had right in the balls. Now grab him by the hair and drive your knee into his face. Don't ask questions, just fucking do it. 𝗵𝗃𝗲 had fallen to his knees. when suddenly something grabbed his hair and began to introduce a knee to his face. It said hello about 4 times before he was out like a light. The audience was shocked, stunned, unable to react. Now run for your life, kid. Run for your goddamn life. With a sudden burst of adrenaline, Izuku did exactly that, grabbing his bag and ran like the devil himself was behind him. Instead of an unconscious 𝗵𝘃𝗲 with a broken nose, his followers walking away laughing at him, and about to have an even worse day than he could possibly imagine. Izuku ran a good distance before he had to stop and catch his breath. So, are you my quirk? Does that mean I have a gift now? Oh man, what can I do? I don't think so, kid. Oh. Trying his best to hide his disappointment. What is a quirk anyhow? Oh, wait, I can read your mind. Give me a second. A few moments passed, but to Izuku it felt like hours. No, sorry Izuku, I am not your quirk. In fact, I don't think I'm a quirk at all, I think I'm dead. Not so damn loud. Sorry, but how do you know that? Well, for one, I am not Japanese. I was or am American. 2, according to the date, it's like 300 years from when I last remember. 3, there were no superheroes where I came from unless count comic books and films. That kind of cool, assuming that we on the same world, that means my great-great-grandkids could have had superpowers. You had kids? Yeah, 3 sons. Were you married? Twice. My second wife died a long time before me. I was just kind of kept waiting around before so I could get a chance to see her again. Oh, that's kind of sad. A little. She was the love of my life. As they say in the movies, she was my Halley's Comet, my shooting star. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said anything. It's okay, Izuku. It was a while ago. I have gotten used to talking about her. Grandkids and all. They approached Izuku's house in silence. Izuku was already thinking about what he had to do to bandage himself up so his mom wouldn't notice. You shouldn't do that. Do what? Hide that from your mom. You need to speak up. But it will just make her worry. She is already worried. The mystery voice began to show images of his mom, looks that he barely caught out of the corner of his eye. Her weight gains. Trust me, kid. She knows something up, and she also is feeling all kinds of guilt over that incident. She knows she fucked up. The day he was diagnosed quirkless, he wanted her to just tell him he could still be a hero. But she didn't. A rift had formed between them that day, and it never truly healed. I don't hold that against her. Yeah, you do. I can see it. I can feel it. You have just buried it deep. But you both know that. Look, kid, parents are not perfect, trust me. I have my share of terrible decisions with my own children. I am telling you now that you two need to figure it out. But I will not let you. Not tell her about the abuse from that other piece of shit. 𝗂𝐴 isn't that bad. Oh no, the fuck, you didn't just say that. Memories of all the abuse flooded his mind. 1 time is an accident, 2 times maybe, 3 is intentional. 4 abuse. Hundreds of times is fucking criminal. If you don't, I will make your life a living hell. How? What can you do? This is the song that doesn't end. It goes on and on, my friends. Some people started singing it not knowing what I was, and they will continue singing ITF forever just because. This is the song that doesn't end. It goes on and on, my friends. Some people started singing it not knowing what I was, and they will continue singing ITF forever just because. This is the song that doesn't end. It goes on and on, my friends. Some people started singing it not knowing what I was, and they will continue singing ITF forever just because. Okay, holy cow. If you were my kid, I would just beat your ass and make you tell her, but I have to resort to psychological warfare. Wait, wouldn't that be abuse? Nah, abuse is when you are just beating someone for no reason with no restraint. A few swats across the ass with a belt is corrective discipline. I guess I see your point. But what is she going to do? The teachers don't even do anything. Don't worry about that, she is your mother, it is her job to figure something out. It is your job to do what you can to support her, not keep her in the dark about what is happening. Also, you need to go see a psychologist. You need some therapy, so does she, I bet. How do I say anything though? Simple. Be a true hero. Be a man and say I need help. Look, Izuku, I don't know how shit goes in your world now. I do know that it's okay to say, hey, I need some help. Everyone needs some help. Your heroes help others, help each other. So suck it up and say, I need some help. Izuku began to cry. The voice in his head was strange, defiantly had the tone of a father but also a friend somehow. He wished his real father would have been around to do something. He wishes he had someone to help him along. He felt a warm embrace. It was comforting but not physical presence. It was more empathic. He knows this voice was the person hugging them. Look kid, I'm not your dad. I don't know how long I will be here. But let me try to help you. Let me give you some advice. And maybe I can leave this place better than I found it. If you let me, I will do my best. Wiping his tears. That would be nice, but what do I call you? You can call me Christopher or Mr. Tracy. You choose. Mr. Tracy? Yep. The door opened and in walked his mom. Immediate concern on her face seeing her son sitting on the couch. She could tell he was crying. Izuku looked up to her as fresh tears formed at the edges of his eyes. Hey mom, he said as he lifted his shirt, his stomach blackened and burned. She saw more scars in other places on his chest and arms. I need some help please. He burst into sobs as his mom raced over to him. 𝗵𝗄 𝗵𝗃 was a devoted mother and wife, even if she often wondered if the latter was even worth her time. Her husband was overseas, in fact, he had been there soon after their honeymoon. He did come home to see their son, had been involved up until he was 4 years old, then poof. He wasn't the man she had thought he would be. Now she was in a loveless marriage raising her son. She loved her son more than anything. But she had made a major mistake. Her son wanted to be a hero, like most children in their society. When he was diagnosed quirkless, that had happened. Her son was in shock, crying and asking if he could become a hero. She should have said yes, that he could do anything he put his mind to, but instead she only managed to sob that she was sorry. They never addressed it after that. Now 4 years later, Izuku had been keeping things from her. He would always smile and tell her he was fine, but she knew better. When she would push, he would pull away. She didn't know what to do. She didn't really have anyone to ask. Her friend Mitsuki just told her to smack him around. That was not really a viable option in 𝗵𝗄's opinion. Besides the fact she was sure that Mitsuki's son was part of the problem. There was a doctor that had recently asked her out on a date, but when she told him she was married, he asked her to coffee. It had been nice, he was easy to talk to. It was a chance for at least another friendship. But burdening someone she hardly knew wasn't right. She came home that day after a long shift. When she opened the door, she knew something was wrong. Her son was sitting on the couch crying. He then lifted his shirt, showing her burn wounds and scars that were obvious signs of abuse, and told her, Mom, I need help. She burst into tears and ran to her son. They immediately took him into her arms, and then her training kicked in and she started to access the damage. She was asking questions, he was deflecting a little, but then he would wince and tell her the truth. All of it. How could she have been so blind? She had let herself be blind over her own guilt, her low self-esteem, her own failings. 𝗵𝗄 steeled herself and her inner mama bear broke out. She was going to make this right, she was not going to take this anymore. She needed to be a pillar of strength for her son. She wiped the tears from her eyes, looking him straight in his, and said, Okay, Izuku, let Mom help you. They went to the hospital, Izuku telling her all about the abuse. The teachers never doing anything, how he was afraid to say anything to her, that he was already a burden being quirkless, that he had ruined her marriage, and that he was hurt when she didn't say he could still be a hero. 𝗵𝗄 did the best she could to absorb all the metaphorical gut punches. The last one got to her. She had her arm around her son and told him the truth. She had messed up. She should have told him to follow his dreams, but all she could think about was him getting hurt. He was her world, and that had made her hesitate. That wasn't going to be a case. They were going to tackle this together. As a team. When he mentioned therapy, she was kind of surprised, but immediately knew it would be a good idea. When 𝗵𝗄 told her he wanted her to go too, she had to ask why. He then told her the way she would be so down, that she was depressed. She told him it was stressed, but then he cut through her arguments with things she felt she had been putting down quite well. But it was the way he said it, like he was listening to something then repeating it. She was going to have to get an answer to that soon, but first thing first was hospital, police, new school, and therapy. She took him to her hospital, and they saw him right away. As luck or fate would have it, the doctor that she had coffee walked into the trauma room. He was surprised to see her and her son. He immediately got to work. He listened. Then once he heard about the attacks, he brought in a DNA collection specialist. All the while talking to 𝗵𝗄, getting her side and Izuku's as well. He told them that he was going to have to contact the police as this was assault. Once the DNA had been collected, He got to work patching up her son. He was gentle, but he also started giving her son a lecture about how keeping this hidden was dangerous. The kid protested, but 𝗏𝗏 saw that once again. The doctor did his job rather well. Before asking to speak to 𝗏𝗏 in the hallway. "Thank you, Dr. 𝗧𝗵𝗲. Please, Mrs. 𝗵𝗃𝗧, call me Alex." "No, I couldn't, doctor." He fixed a stern look upon her, his purple eyes boring into her green. "Alex," he added firmly. "𝗏𝗏," she replied. He smiled. It was a nice smile, she thought. "𝗏𝗏, the police are going to come and interview your son and you. Also, you're going to probably have to interview with child safety." He placed a calming hand on her shoulder. "It will be okay. It is routine for things like this. Just answer truthfully and everything will be okay. You should probably look into therapy for him." "I know, that was part of the plan, Alexan." He pulled out his wallet and handed her a card. "This is a friend of mine. She is very nice. She is American. I hope that doesn't bother you. Just tell her assistant that I gave you the card. If you don't like her, you don't have to see her. I will not be offended." "Thank you, Alexan." "It's my pleasure, 𝗏𝗏. We can talk some more over break room coffee when you get a chance. Now, go take care of your son." With that, he turned and walked down the hall, a nurse running up to him and handing him a chart. She looked at the card. 𝗬𝗓𝗓, psychologist, psychotherapist, MD. She slipped it into her pocket and walked back into the room. Inside the room. Is this the right thing to do? I mean, 𝐭𝐻𝐿 is going to get in trouble, isn't he? I fucking hope so. Look, this kid isn't your friend. He is an abuser. He is going to keep on abusing people. Now that has the potential to lead him down a very dark path. You cannot help him by being his victim. How can you be a hero by enabling him? It's like he was addicted to drugs. Would you go buy him the drugs? No. I would get him into a program. Exactly. Obviously the schools aren't doing anything for him, neither are his parents. That kid needs fucking help. And so do you. You have some serious self-esteem issues. Your desire to sacrifice yourself isn't healthy. But a hero is supposed to be self-sacrificing, aren't they? True, but you are doing it in a way that is just reckless. You're thinking that if you die doing something heroic, then your life will mean something. Kid, that is just not how this works. If you want to be a hero, a true hero, then yes, laying down your life so others may live is definitely a part of it. But that should not be the first course of action. Let's just run in and die so someone might live. All your life people have been telling you that you are worthless and you started to believe that. No one's life is worthless as long as they do their best, and sometimes doing your best isn't going to be enough. No matter how great of a hero you become, people will die. You cannot save everyone. People will get sick, injured. Look at you, say, why didn't you do something when you did all you can? No one is perfect. You need to learn that and accept it. But I want to save everyone with a smile on my face. Never going to happen. Not everyone, not even your All Might can. This is going to be harsh, but bear with me. You are not All Might. Never going to be, never could be. Not because you don't have quirk, even if you had his quirk. You are your own person just as he is. Look to him for inspiration, but stop trying to be an imitation. Be you. Be me. But I'm nothing but a Deku. No 𝗵𝗃𝗧𝗏, you are a person first and foremost, just as deserving of love, hopes and dreams as the next person. Quirk or no quirk. Second, you need counseling. Third, you need to take some responsibility. For what? I didn't ask to be born like this. You are misunderstanding. I'm not saying anything about the quirkless part. What have you done to compensate for that? Training, nope. Work around, nope. Exercise, nope. All you have done is hang your head and take the beatings. Partially because you didn't feel that you were worthy of it, hence therapy. If you don't have a superpower, then train your mind and body. Turn that hero analysis to some gadgets to help you out. Izuku mind flooded with images from comics, movies, all kind of things of some guy and his kids, running around, no powers, fighting crime with their wits, gadgets, and a true superpower money. *author note * fuck you fight me. I see all kinds of your heroes running around in support gear. That's what you are going to need. He could see it, some sort of weapons, things to make travel easier, catch criminals, all of it. Alright, let's do it. Let's go. Yeah, let's go right to therapy to work on our mental health. Yeah. You really were a dad, weren't you? Yuppers, a comic book loving, video game playing, stress bearing, depression having dad. But I learned something very important. You have to look at someone or everything and try to see it all. The faults, the good and the bad. Some of these heroes you look up to are trash. They do it for the money or the fame. Some do it for the right reasons but don't do more to enact change. Your All Might great hero but doesn't do enough on the social side. He has tons of cash but you never see him spend it on outreach or political reform. He has some campaigns here and there but nothing real. Just remember, see the faults, don't put blinders on. Nothing is perfect, but it doesn't mean we stop trying. Now I have a question for you. Okay, what is it? Where are all the flying cars and shit? You guys have had 300 years of superpowers and yes, some shit is better, but you guys are seriously failing on advancing all mankind area. I never thought of that before. The more you know. Remember, always push forward. Standing still is a good way to get pissed on in a windstorm. What? He just started laughing. When Inko re-entered her son's room, he was sitting in the hospital bed laughing his ass off holding his guts. Did he just crack? Mother and son plus voice makes 3. Izuku darling, are you okay? Yeah mom, well no but you know what I mean. Good answer. You should probably tell her about me. You and her are starting over, it wouldn't be good if you keep secrets at the start of your relationship. But what if she thinks I am crazy? Ask her for some faith. Honesty and trust is always a two-way street, kiddo. Never blindly trust someone. You can give them the benefit of the doubt, but blind trust can be dangerous. Hey mom, I need you come sit down and promise not to freak out, or the very least to just listen to me all the way before you do anything. Can you do that for me? Inko had never heard her son talk this way. She was a little nervous. Not sure what he was going to tell her, but she had to find out and listen. She didn't want things to backslide after all they had been through today. Okay, sweetie. I promise I will listen before I do anything. Izuku took a deep breath. Okay, so today I was standing up to 𝗂𝗵𝗃𝗃 when he had knocked me down and was ready to kick me. I heard a voice in my head telling me to move. Inko sat there. First impulse was to call the doctors, her son was hearing voices. But it had just started today for some reason. As much as it pained her to think after asking Izuku some questions, today was not much different than other days. And from her training, while this voice did tell her son to apparently beat the snot out of Bakugo, it then had told him to run for life. To talk to his mom, to ask for help, to open up and be honest, to get therapy. And tell him to get pissed on in the wind for some reason. Oh, not to mention to tell him to tell her about this voice. Honesty and trust. Honesty and trust. Okay? I am not going to lie to you, Izuku. This has me a little afraid. It's not normal to hear voices talking to you like this unless it's a quirk, which your friend, Mr. Tracy, is very certain he is not. Due to American children, etc. Also, he had no idea how he got here. Izuku nodded. Even though this does bother me, I trust you. But I want you to tell me what he talks to you about if you can write it down. It is reasonable. In my time, if you were hearing voices, you were just labeled as crazy. What did he say? He said it was reasonable to him, that in his time people just thought you were crazy. What do we do now, Mom? Well, the first thing we are going to do is wait for the police and fill a report. Tomorrow I am going to file a complaint against your school and pull you out of there. We will find you a new school to go to. Then I am going to call this psychiatrist that the doctor recommended and see if we can make an appointment for you. Her too. She needs to get her head on right as well. You both need this. He says you too. That we both need to get our heads right. So he can hear us, that makes sense. Why does he want me to go? He says he recognizes signs of depression. And other problems he says isn't for a son to hear. Well, it wouldn't hurt anything, and if Izuku sees me going then that would help him. Okay, I will go as well. The mother and son didn't get to talk much longer as the police arrived shortly thereafter to take statements. They told the 2-3 that once they had the samples for the DNA collection they would be in touch. But they were going to go interview the perpetrators to get their side of the story. Soon after they left, Izuku fell asleep. It had been one of the, if not the most physically, mentally, and emotionally draining day. Inko looked at her sleeping son, taking his hand in hers as she drifted off. I hope I can trust you, Mr. Tracy. Help me take good care of my boy. She never heard the response. She just hoped that it was pleasant. The Midoriyas were awakened by the Child Safety Commission. They were separated into two different rooms and interviewed. Inko sat and answered all the questions the investigator asked. It was very hard for her, especially when the investigator was asking the probing questions. Why did you not push the issue when you clearly felt something was wrong? What are you going to do to stop the situation? Where is the boy's father? Is he aware of the situation? Etc. Truth and honesty. 𝗏𝗏 took deep breaths and answered every question the best she could. She was terrified. This man sitting across from her had the authority to take Izuku away. She was determined to not let that happen. It is very hard to admit when one is at fault, especially a parent in their dealing with a child. To oneself was hard enough, but let alone to a stranger. Yet here she was, she had to let this man know that yes, she had fucked up, but her son and her had opened door in the last 12 hours and she was going to fight to be able to go through that door and to the other side with him. Izuku. He sat in his medical bed as this woman was asking him questions. A nurse sat in the room to make sure they were not alone. Izuku was so nervous. He was shaking slightly. Mr. Tracy, are you there? Of course, kid. But unfortunately, I cannot be of assistance here. You need to do this. These are questions that you have answer. It is not my place to tell you how to answer the questions. It is your actions or silence that has brought you here. I'll be here, but don't expect me to tell you what to say. Okay. True to Mr. Tracy's words, they kept silent. He would only offer a few words when Izuku was struggling. Mr. Tracy would tell him, look them in the eyes, don't look down. Take a deep breath. Think then answer. Slow down. It helped. 𝗏𝗏. Once again in the same room. They talked and hugged. They admitted that they were both scared but knew that together they would face it. 𝗏𝗏 made sure her son was settled before she left to head home and get cleaned up for the day. Dr. Alex had let her know that they were going to keep Izuku till at least the next day just for observation. The tests were all looking good. 𝗏𝗏 went home, got herself cleaned up, and then headed to Izuku's school. She had to wait for a little bit, but she got her meeting with the principal. It started off politely enough. When she broached the subject of bullying, she was promptly told how they had not witnessed any such activities. That her son had indeed had some incidents of falling and hurting himself, and he had been the aggressor in some incident with the other student. Her son the aggressor. Her son the aggressor? Oh, he just feel. What the shit? 𝗏𝗏 was upset. She felt defeated for 0.2 seconds. There was no way she could let them get away with this. She was stepping up and being held accountable for her own mistakes and shortcomings. She was not about to let the people who stood by and watched this all go down. They would be held accountable one way or the other. She smiled at the principal. Well, sir, I would like to thank you for your time. I feel that it would be best for my son if I was to transfer him to another school so that he can have a fresh start. If you could help me get his records ready, I would greatly appreciate it. The principal seemed more than happy to assist her in the process. Seemingly relieved that 𝗧𝗵𝗲 was going to be leaving the school, 𝗏𝗏 went by the nurse's office to request the treatment records. The nurse handed them over, but before she could leave, the nurse, Mrs. Higa, stopped her. She went to her desk and pulled out a very large folder. Mrs. Midoriya, here, take this. I am sorry, I should have spoke out. 𝗏𝗏 was confused. She sat in the car. The first folder was the sanitized version. The other painted a very clear picture. 𝗏𝗏 was going to take all these bastards down. She knew she needed to take this to a lawyer. She didn't have one, she didn't know one. She pulled out her phone. Hello, Alex-san, I am sorry to disturb you, but would you happen to have the name of lawyer? I feel I will need one to properly deal with Izuku's school. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I will look forward to it. A few minutes later, a message came up on her phone. Kobayashi. She called and within minutes was downtown, heading into a law office. Izuku. The interview was uncomfortable to say the least. He got through it, not without crying, not without stressing that he needed to be with his mother. They were starting something and that they needed to do it together. The woman looked him in the eyes, gently patted his hands before leaving. He sat there. I hope I did okay. I am sure you did fine. Mr. Tracy? Yes, Izuku? Can you just talk to me? I don't know about what, but... Sure, Izuku. Have you ever had a taco? They talked about food, heroes, comics. Lastly, music. Izuku never really paid attention to music. Apparently, this was the travesty to end all travesty. The next several hours, Mr. Tracy would talk about music and much he loved it. He started to tell him about his favorite songs, his favorite movies. It was a lot of fun. Izuku grabbed his phone. Okay, give me a song. If you could play me one song right now. Oh, I love it. A song for you. Something to help inspire you. My hero of Foo Fighters. Alright, Mr. Tracy, let's see what you got. 𝗂𝗏𝗄𝗏 now to talk about. Take your pictures down and shake it out. Truth or consequence, say it aloud. Use that evidence, race it around. There goes my hero. Watch him as he goes. There goes my hero. He's ordinary. Don't the best of them bleed it out, while the rest of them peter out. Truth or consequence, say it aloud. Use that evidence, race it around. There goes my hero. Watch him as he goes. There goes my hero. He's ordinary. Kudos my hero. Leavin' all the mess. You know my hero. The one that's on. There goes my hero. Watch him as he goes. There goes my hero. He's ordinary. There goes my hero. Watch him as he goes. There goes my hero. He's ordinary. Izuku didn't know much about music. He liked the guitars and drums. It pumped him up. But it was the line, there goes my hero, he's ordinary. Can I be a hero? Why not? Shouldn't you try? Trust me, there are going to be enough coulda, shoulda, wouldas in life. The worst is looking back and knowing you didn't even try. As long as you can look yourself in the mirror and know that you did your best, then you will be okay. Tai. The Midoriyas began a great time of change. As Inko left the lawyer's office, she was feeling hopeful. Mr. Kobayashi took her case. No upfront fee. He only asked one thing. Do you want them punished or destroyed? Destroyed. He then went to work. Izuku was released from the hospital. They meet their therapist. She was wonderful. Therapy was a long process. Dr. Dayspring was caring, loving, tough, funny, and most of all, she took no one's bullshit. They started off 3 days a week. She may or may not have had to replace her carpets due to flooding. Izuku revealed the presence of Mr. Tracy. That was a very long session. It was a lot of work for the Midoriyas. But nothing worth having ever comes easy. The therapy took time, as all things do. The victories were small, but soon they added up. Izuku leaned proper social interaction. Between Dr. Dayspring and Mr. Tracy, the help to guide him. Inko was there every step of the way. She was going on her own journey as well of recovery, forgiveness, and healing. Inko was worthy of love. She wasn't receiving the love she needed. Izuku's father had called once when the police had gotten a hold of him. He belittled Inko and refused to talk to Izuku. The last time they talked was when he was served with divorce papers. He signed them. Inko was worthy of love. The lawsuit was long. In the end, the discovery process was what had wrapped it all up in a bow. The interviews with the staff and students were instrumental. The school was closed, and large settlement was awarded. They found Izuku a new school. Inko did her research, and with the aid of Kobayashi, she found a good place for her boy. The school had a great track record. He even made some real friends. Mina Ishido and her buddy Ijiro Kirishima. Mina was outgoing and just a ball of energy and positivity. Ijiro was heard about Izuku's dream and simply said manly. They were an odd trio, but it worked. Mina dragged him out of his comfort zones. Ijiro helped him work out and train. He would pick up Izuku when he fell and lean him down the manly path. Mr. Tracy found it hilarious. Mr. Tracy helped him talk with his friends. Katsuki Bakugo was charged with assault and illegal quirk usage with the intent to cause harm. He avoided jail time with an impassioned speech from his victim. Katsuki was stubborn. He hadn't done anything wrong, he was just showing people their proper place. He was in a heated argument with his mother when his father come home. Katsuki could remember 1, maybe 2 times that his father Masaru was upset. This was the time that he would remember for the rest of his life. His father walked in. Katsuki couldn't read the room, he kept yelling. Mitsuki felt it immediately and shut up. Katsuki was in the middle of 𝐒𝐻𝐕 when a hand struck him across the mouth. Mitsuki started to say something, but a look from Masaru shut her down. Masaru proceeded to lay it all out for his son, that the amount of trouble Katsuki and no one else had brought to their door. That Katsuki would no longer be allowed to be hero. Not until Masaru decided it to be so. Katsuki was to attend the mandatory therapy and anger management. He would then volunteer at the hospital in the burn ward. If Katsuki wanted to dispute this, they could go down to the park and settle it properly. If he didn't want to comply, he had no problem letting Katsuki go to jail and completely destroying his hopes of being a hero. If Katsuki raised his voice again to Mitsuki, then would answer to Masaru. He looked to Katsuki. Son, your future is in the hands of other people now. How does it feel to know that someone else is telling you what to do? where to go, what you can dream to be. Katsuki was angry, but he was also terrified for the first time. His dream was not in his hands anymore. First, internally he blamed Deku. It wasn't until years later he would realize that it was all him. Mr. Tracy was the fatherly voice that Izuku needed, giving advice, pushing him forward, providing advice, teaching him things that a boy needs to learn from a father. Filling that hole, the best he could for being a voice in his head. He pushed him to try things, to let go and just live. That he couldn't seize the moment. Inko found Izuku a teacher. He was quirkless as well. He had almost been a pro hero, but he had an accident that severely damaged his leg and his dream had ended. Sensei Hinta was more than happy to help Izuku. Hinta pushed Izuku hard, very hard. He understood the work that it was going to take. He had fallen short. But here was a boy that had the same dream, and Hinta wanted him to have every chance he could. Strength training, combat training, tactics, and weapon training. Izuku dug deep. He had the network, his sensei, Dr. Dayspring, Mina, Ijiro, Mr. Tracy, and his mom. It takes a village to raise a child. The Midoriyas had found their village. Inko went on her first date with Dr. Tsukiko 5 years after he had first asked. She was worthy of love. Izuku was worthy of love. He was worthy of being treated like a person. Ochako Uraraka gently lowered the couch into place and released her quirk. "Thanks, honey." "No problem, Mom." She felt her mom wrap her arms around her. "Look, I know no one is happy with the move, and I am sorry that you had to leave your friends. I understand, Mom. It kind of sucks, but I was going to have to leave them when I go to Udade anyway. After the judgment, it's not like we had a choice anymore." Her mom squeezed her tightly. "Still, honey, it doesn't mean that we don't appreciate you being strong and helping get the stuff upstairs. Now, if you would just let me help, we could get the business." Ochako, her father's voice filled the room. "I understand you want to help, but it is not your place to give up on your dream to save us. It is our job to take care of you." "But Dad?" He walked over and wrapped his arms around both of his girls. "Ochako, look, your mom and I love you. I know that you want to help. If you really want to help study hard and become a great pro, then you can send us to Hawaii." He laughed and held them tight. "I have the best girls. Why don't you see to your room, honey, while I help you Mom with the kitchen?" Ochako gave a small smile and made her way to her room. "It is not much bigger than home. Well, this is home now. God, I miss our house. It wasn't big, but at least we're not crammed into this apartment. And I had a yard. Why didn't they just let me help? We could have just rebuilt after that damn judgment. I could offset so much cost." She fought back some tears. When Ochako was 5 years old, she saw a video on the news of 13 rescuing people from a building collapse. It was then and there she wanted to be a hero. Her gravity quirk was perfect for it. She would run around the yard lifting branches and rocks, saving imaginary people. Her mother and father would just watch and smile, though her mother did draw the line when Ochako decided to use the tablecloth as cape. A strict no cape policy was instituted. Her family was not the best off financially. She didn't know that till she was in elementary school, and some kids would point out her off-brand shoes or old book bag. It bothered her some, as it would any kid, but soon she just ignored it, and the other kids did as well. When she was 10, there had been an accident at a job site. The family business survived, but it was in a slow free fall. Her dad's business partner, his friend from high school, embezzled funds and ran off with his secretary. The free fall became apparent. Ochako noticed the bills were marked past due. Meals were smaller. They would have campouts in the living room, as there seemed to be regular power outages at their house. Her mom didn't have much jewelry anymore. Then came a Hail Mary project. Tight deadline, but if her dad could pull it off, it would mean a chance at recovery. 16-hour days for over a month took a toll on her dad. He pushed himself too far and made a mistake. This accident was the nail. The man was crippled. They lost everything: the house, the land, the remaining equipment, and most of all, her father lost his reputation. Her mother had reached out to an old friend. Ochako could hear her crying in her room. At 15, they had to move. Her father would be a repairman for the complex, and her mother would serve as landlady. It would keep a roof over their heads, food in their bellies, and the other necessities. She had been crying into her pillow as quietly as she could. She found her composure and set about getting her stuff unpacked. It wasn't much, but it was hers. She hung up her poster of Udade on the back of her door, 13 over her desk. and placed the hula girl on her nightstand. Hawaii, I will send them to Hawaii, buy the house back and take care of them. No more struggles, no more tears, no more skipping meals. She had just finished putting her clothes away when a knock at her door caught her attention. She walked over and opened it. Her father was standing there. Hey honey, come eat. I got a pizza. Pizza? Yeah, a little celebratory dinner for our new start. She walked into the kitchen and took a seat as the family of three ate and talked of what tomorrow could bring. Monday. Ochako stood outside her new homeroom. She fidgeted in her new school uniform. She had protested that her mom had bought her a new uniform, stockings, shoes, and book bag. She had instead that they could get a used uniform, and her other things were just fine. Like many of her protests, it fell on deaf ears. The door opened and she was told to enter. She took a deep breath and entered, taking position in front of the class. Introduce yourself, any hobbies, and of course your quirk. Hello, my name is 𝗧𝗵𝗲. My favorite food 𝗓𝗵𝗲, I like to read, and my quirk is gravity control. I can touch something and remove the effect of gravity from it and reinstate it later. I look forward to learning with all of you. She bowed. Very good, now do we have a volunteer to show Ms. 𝗬𝗧𝗏 around school? Me, oh pick me, Mr. 𝗧𝗏. A very energetic voice called out. Ochako looked up and there was a pink-skinned girl with yellow irises, black sclery eyes, and pink skin very enthusiastically waving her arm in the air. I can do it, sir, said a boy in the next seat. He had red hair that looked like he styled it by putting his finger in an electrical socket. IT would be super manly, so show a new student around. Now, Ms. Ishido and Mr. Kirishima, if you didn't have the worst grades in class, I would consider it. Teach, how could you just call us out like that? Ishido's hand flopped down, and she put her head on her desk defeated. Dude, so unmanly to say it out loud like that. Kirishima folded his arms across his chest and looked off to the side. Mr. Midoriya, you have the top grades. Would you please show Ms. 𝗬𝗧𝗏 around, please? Of course, sir. Wow, she is a cute one. Yes. I mean, Mr. Tracy. Remember, don't just dive into her quirk. Introduce yourself, speak clearly, and smile. She is in a new school and probably doesn't know anyone. Yes, sir, Izuku responded sarcastically. Izuku and Ochako. Her set her bag down at an empty desk that was right in front of Midoriya. She turned to him, and he smiled at her. He has a nice smile. Hopefully this will be okay. They stepped out of the classroom. So, did you just move here? Yeah, we go here Friday. We moved for my parents' work. Oh, well, I guess that's good for them. Must have been rough for you, though, having to leave your friends and come to new school. It wasn't ideal, but what are you going to do? He smiled. Yeah, change is rough, but it can turn out to be a good thing sometimes. So, are you really the top-ranked student? Yeah, I study hard. I need to have top grades for when I apply to you. She perked up immediately. Oh, you want to go to U too? I want to go there as well. What is your quirk, if you don't mind me asking? She seems nice. I hope that this goes well. None of that Mina and Ijiro accepted you and are your best friends. Yes, some of the other kids laugh about it, but what did Dr. Dayspring say? My self-worth is not measured by anyone else but me. As long as I know what I am worth, no one can take that from me. Exactly, now talk to the girl. She is excited to talk to someone that has the same dream as her. Actually, I do not have a quirk. I'm quirkless. Really? That must have made life difficult. You must be training really hard to go to you then. It sure has made things more difficult. So does it bother you? What, that you're quirkless? Why would that bother me? Does it bother you that I am a girl? No. If it wasn't for Mina and Dr. Dayspring, I would be a stuttering mess. Seems pretty messed up for me have a problem with something you had no control over. He smiled at her. That's nice to hear, 𝗬𝗧𝗏. Some people tend to get quiet and then forget I exist. Not me. You are going to be my best friend. If you have the top grades, I am going to need someone to help with my math homework. I mean, what's up with numbers? There is like so many of them. He chuckled. Some would say an infinite number of them. Oh, little did I know that the top student was also the greatest comedic mind of our generation. They both looked at each other and laughed. They walked around the school with Izuku showing her where everything was. As they talked, her personality started to shine through. She was a very bubbly person and positive. She enjoyed talking with him. He was cute and smart. He seemed to have a good attitude despite probably having a difficult upbringing, and he was witty. He enjoyed music and reading. It was just him and his mom. She had just started dating again. They finally found themselves outside the classroom again. Hey Uraraka, lunch is about to start. Do you want to come and sit with Mina and Ijiro and me? You don't have to if you don't want to. Sure, that sounds cool. I am assuming they are friends of yours. Yeah, they were the ones who wanted to give you the tour. They're great. They want to be heroes too. If they are okay with it, that sounds nice. It would be nice to make some more friends on the first day. Wait, am I the first one? Oh, for fuck's sake. I would like to think so. I thought we got along good. She gasped and jumped back and brought both her hands to her mouth. Wait, is it because I am girl? What? She started laughing. Got you. She smiled and gave him double finger guns. Oh yeah, I like her. I think I do too. Oh, I would so narc you out if I could talk to anyone else. Not like that. I just meet her. But she is cute. That was mean, Ochako. Funny but mean. Oh, it's Ochako now. So we friends then, Izuku. She put her fist out. He gave her a fist bump and bright smile. Yeah, I think so. The lunch was fun as he introduced her to Mina and Ijiro. She liked them immediately. Mina was a ball of energy. Ijiro was the straight man to Mina's comedy act who for some reason referred to everything as manly. Ochako wanted to go to 𝗧𝗪𝗏. Manly. She was cool with Izuku being quirkless. Manly. She was having fun. It was when she went to throw her trash away, a girl with long fuchsia hair and matching eyes. Hey new girl, I know you don't know better, but you shouldn't hang with the freaks at table 9. Freaks at table 9? Yeah, like, if you want you can come sit with me and my crew. Besides, Iroh was saying that you looked kind of cute. The girl didn't notice Ochako's eye twitch. Oh really, she replied in a voice dripping with false honey. Who is Iroh? The girl pointed to boy with short black spikes where his hair was. He had black eyes with more spikes poking out around his face and his arms. And you are? Oh my bad, my name is 𝗧𝗏. Like me and my crew are the best, just ask around. 𝗧𝗏, okay I will remember that, but I am going to give it hard pass. I think I will stick with table 9. Okay, bye. She gave an exaggerated wave as she left the lunchroom. Mina was waiting for her. Mina noticed the scowl on Ochako's face. Yo girl, you okay? Throwing away trash should not be that anger-inducing. I meet some bitch named 𝗧𝗏. Oh her. You know her? Yeah, she fancies herself the queen bee around here. Mina looked down. I used to hang with her and her crew back in elementary. Why? I just wanted to fit in somewhere. You know, some people give mutants a hard time, especially when they look weird. I was young and stupid. And I realized I was being fake. And I don't want to be fake. But then I found Ijiro and then Izuku. They like me for me. I'm just glad I bailed when I did. She can such a bitch. Yeah, I noticed. The girls headed back to class and got into their afternoon lessons. When the afternoon bell rang as she was gathering her things. So Ochako, how was day 1? Izuku asked. Not too bad, I made some friends, but I am going to have to ask you for help with math. Apparently we were a little behind where you guys are. He smiled. I would be happy to help. She pulled out her cell phone. Do you want to exchange numbers? Yeah, as he fished his out as well. Mina and Ijiro came over and insisted on giving her their numbers as well. When they left the school, the boys went one way while the girls walked the other before they had split up down the road. Ochako was in a good mood as she made her way home. She settled down at the coffee table and got to work on her homework. She was texting a group chat when her mom came in. She noticed her daughter seemed to be in a good mood. Good first day, honey? Yeah, I actually made some friends. Meet the queen bee and realized that even more so that math was indeed developed by demons to torture me. That bad, huh? No, and yes, they are farther ahead than where we were in my old school. But thankfully one of my new friends is like tops in the class and has agreed to tutor me. We were setting something up for Thursday, is that okay? I don't see why not. I am glad that you made some friends. So they are pretty cool and they want to go to 𝗧𝗏 also. That's awesome. You guys could train together sometimes. You know what, Mom, you may a genius mom. You have to get your smarts from somewhere. And Lord knows that wasn't your father. She laughed. Yeah, Dad stopped helping me with my math homework in the 6th grade. The fabulous foursome. Alien Queen, so my mom says Thursday is fine. Rocky, I good to go. Gravity girl, me too. Nightwing, good on my end? Where do we want to study? Gravity Girl. Nightwing? Nightwing, it's from an old comic book that I read. He doesn't have any superpowers and he's still become a hero. Gravity Girl, cool. So where do we want to meet at? Alien Queen. Oh, I know this cool cafe. Nightwing, no. Alien Queen. Why not Izuku? Nightwing, you won't study, you want to just hang out and goof off. Rocky lol, he knows you. Alien Queen. But I will study this time. Nightwing and Rocky. No, you won't. Alien Queen. Wait, I have an ally now. I'm not the only girl. Ochako, help me. Gravity Girl. Normally I would take your side on a matter of principle, but I need the help in math too bad. Alien Queen. Crying emoji, pouting emoji. Alien Queen. I can't go to the library, yet I am still banned. Gravity Girl. Why are you banned from the library? Alien Queen. Being a nuisance and causing a disruption. Gravity Girl. Oh, you are telling me about that later. Nightwing. How about my house? Alien Queen and Rocky. Is Mama Inko going to be there? Nightwing. I don't think so. She has the late shift at the hospital. But I'm sure she will let me order pizza, and how about I offer up a bribe? Alien Queen, Rocky, and Gravity Girl. We are listening. Nightwing. If all of you score at least a B on the quiz, we can go the cafe that Mina is talking about Saturday, my treat. Alien Queen and Rocky. How about a C? Nightwing. Nope, B or better. Gravity Girl. I don't want to impose on you, Izuku. Nightwing. It's all good, trust me. Later I must finish my homework, see you guys tomorrow. Nightwing has left the chat. Rocky, yeah, I got to go, Mom just got home. Rocky has left the chat. Alien Queen. You ditching me too? Gravity Girl. Hey Mina, can I ask you a question? You don't have to answer if you don't want. Alien Queen. Raised eyebrow emoji, sure, what is up? Gravity Girl. Is Izuku like rich or something? Alien Queen, no. Gravity Girl. Then how can he offer, the cafe? Alien Queen. It's not my place to really say, but you can ask him. Is there a problem if he is? Gravity Girl. No, just, my family is not rich or anything, we get by. I just don't want to be someone's charity case. Alien Queen. I get, girl, I feel you. I am in the same boat. We are alright, but we aren't flush or anything. And trust me, Izuku is not that kind of dude. He is good. Look, it's not my place to tell you stuff, but I will just say, in Izuku I trust. He had never steered me wrong in all the years I have known him. Gravity Girl. Okay, thanks, Mina. Can you keep this between us? Alien Queen, of course. So, any cute boys you know? Gravity Girl has left the chat. Alien Queen. AWW, come on. All of you suck. Alien Queen has been sucked out an airlock. Wednesday afternoon. Ochako found herself in the locker room getting changed for P. Damn girl. Curves for days. Ochako turned and laughed as she was pulling on her P.E top. You're one to talk. Us curve girls must stick together. But hang back for a bit, I need to talk to you really quick. Okay? Look, you're going to see something that is going to be amazing. You're also going to see something that is going to cause a whole bunch of questions. I am going to ask you to not ask those questions. Please, this is very important, okay? Can't you just tell me? This is something that you need to see. I can explain some of it, but it would just be better if you saw it. The girls made their way out to the field. The rest of the class were out there already doing their stretching. Mina and Ochako joined in. Izuku, maybe today will be different. Fuck, Iroh and Sierra are looking over here and talking. She was going to see anyway. I know you would not it be right after just meeting her. I know, but I understand, kid. She is your friend, right? If she can't handle this, then she doesn't deserve to be. But I am pretty sure she will appreciate all the muscle. Mina does. Yeah, even the ones that don't talk to me like that part. Mr. Tracy? Yes, Izuku. I know I have said this a lot, but thank you for showing up that day. I mean, life has just been so much better. Not a problem, kid. It has been a pleasure. Izuku was talking with Ijiro as the girls were sent running around the track. The boys were separated into teams, and sure enough, him and Ijiro were on the Skins team. Izuku's side, at least the girls were running and not right there. The Skins team slipped off their shirts and began their game of soccer. The girls had finished their run. Mina and Ochako were able to maintain a good pace for the whole run. As they came to a stop, she saw a group of girls watching the boys. Mina leaned over and whispered, "This is it." Ochako turned and looked. The boys were playing soccer, shirts versus skins. Some of the boys were in decent shape, some not so much. Then she saw Ijiro and Izuku. Holy hell. She felt the blush start to form. They were in amazing shape. Like you could grate cheese on those abs. As she admired Izuku, she saw them. Scars. Lots of scars and burn marks on his chest and back. No blush anymore. Immediately she looked to Mina. Mina just nodded. Amazing and a whole lot of questions. Mina led her over to the water fountain. Told you. They are in amazing shape. But? The scars? Yeah. Iroh and his asshole friends do that to him all the time. They did that today so they could hope to scare you off. Most of us are used to it, so now we just get to enjoy the view. How did that happen? I'm sorry, Ochako. That is not my story to tell. I am sure he will tell you about, but that's for him to tell. Anyway, how did you like the view? It was nice, so what is up with Ijiro? Are you and him? No, I was interested, but he plays for the other team. Oh, him and Izuku. Her mind raced to some interesting stories she had read or was reading at night. No, just best buddies. Ijiro doesn't look at him like that. He admits he is hot, but Izuku is not his type. You and Izuku? If I'm honest, I am not sure. We have more of a sister-brother thing. Oh, the boys are heading this way. Izuku and Ijiro walked by slipping on their shirts. They gave the girls a wave. As they passed, Mina ran up and slapped them both on the ass. Good game, fellas, hit the showers. The boys knew this was going to happen. They both turned and flexed their impressive arms. Yes, coach. End of class. As class ended, Izuku walked up to Ochako. We still cool? Ochako looked up at his emerald green eyes. She could see that he was genuinely worried that she would say no. Honestly? Always. I was shocked. You don't have to say anything now, and I am not trying to put any pressure on you. If you want to tell me or talk, I'm here for you. Thanks, Ochako. Let loose a breath he wasn't sure he had been holding. Most people either freak about the scars or about me being quirkless. You didn't flinch at either. That means a lot to me. Ijiro and Mina walked over. Good? Mina asked. Izuku and Ochako both turned. Good, Jinx. No, you Jinx. No, you owe me a Coke. They said in unison, and both started laughing before heading out and home. Izuku. See, I told you. Yeah, thanks, I'm glad. It's nice to have a new friend. After Baniro. Yeah, but I told you some people can handle it, some can't. Now you better hurry or you sensei is going to be mad. He glanced down at his watch and took off running. He was late by 2 minutes. Training was extended by an hour. Thursday. The group headed out of class and headed towards Izuku's house. Ochako was nervous. She wasn't sure what to expect. When they arrived, she was pleased to see a nice house, nothing crazy or outlandish. As they entered, it was nicely decorated and maintained. She saw a picture of what she assumed to be Izuku and his mom, with Mina and Ijiro standing in front of the school at what she assumed the entrance ceremony. She noticed that they even had their own slippers for the house. Izuku opened the closet and set out a clean pair for her to use. The house was nice on the inside. There was a very large TV in the living room, but everything else looked nice but not crazy like she was expecting. They sat down around the coffee table, all pulling out their notebooks, and got to work studying for the test. He ordered the pizza along with a salad and breadsticks. She noticed he pulled out his own wallet to pay and that there was a decent amount of money. She wondered how he would react if he knew she was poor. Mina had told her that I wouldn't matter, but she felt self-conscious. When Mina and Ijiro went for seconds, she just looked at him. So Izuku, are you like rich or something? Izuku smiled and shook his head. Nah, for a long time it was tight for me and my mom, but then we won a settlement and moved here. She gave me an allowance, I just don't really spend it all that often. I put 1/3 away in savings account. I use 1/3 for my lunch and stuff. Then I keep 1/3 for stuff. Oh, okay. Is something wrong? No, it's actually pretty stupid now that I am thinking about. My parents and I are okay, we get by, and I was afraid for some reason if you found out then you wouldn't like me or something or treat me like a charity case. Now that I am thinking about it, there is no way you would. Well, that makes me happy. Feel free to grab seconds. If you don't, those two will not hesitate to eat it all. Ochako and him stood up and went to get seconds. Fried. They all got B's on the math quiz. Izuku got an A, of course. They all couldn't hang out after school. Izuku said he had a meeting and his other two friends just nodded. Ochako said, meeting? Yeah, I will tell you about it some other time, he said as he jogged off. Saturday. They all meet up and went to this space-themed cafe that Mina had suggested. She had fussed about her outfit all day, settling on a pink sundress. Her friends all gave her compliments. It made her feel good. She had a great time. She felt bad when Izuku paid, but he seemed to be having such a good time that it quickly vanished. They spent the afternoon walking around a mall window shopping before cramming into a photo booth to take pictures. They each took one before calling it a day. Ochako walked home sending a thanks to whomever had brought Mina, Ijiro, and Izuku into her life. She hoped that this would be the start of something good. She was daydreaming of all of them anew today and running around as heroes. She worried a little about Izuku. She knew his path would be hard, and she wanted to support him with everything she could, Izuku and Ochako. It took a little bit, 6 months to be exact, before Izuku had the long conversation with her. The scars, bullying, therapy, and Mr. Tracy. To her credit, she took it all in stride. She hugged her friend and cried about what he had suffered, though. As they calmed down, it took a lot of convincing that Mr. Tracy was not his quirk. She eventually said she accepted it, but he knew she wasn't sure. Dr. Dayspring and told him that Mr. Tracy was coping mechanism. Izuku shrugged. It had bothered him for a bit, but Mr. Tracy provided the answer. Who cares? Do you want me to stop talking to you? No, of course not. I wish you were real where I could touch you. I mean, you are the dad I always wished I had. Thanks, kid. I wish I was real too. You mom is hot. I take it all back. Everything with the group was going great. They celebrated birthdays and Christmas together. First shrine visit. Mina was getting frustrated as all hell. She saw Izuku and Ochako looking at each other, especially when they thought the other was not looking. After a year of this, she had enough. She was not the only one. For the love of God, kid, are you going to say something or what? What if she doesn't like me like that? What if she does? Look, son, either you say something or someone else will. She is a cute girl. She has already turned down 3 confessions. Either you step up to bat or she will say yes to someone, and you will never know. But, look, I understand that you are afraid of losing your friend. But let me tell you something, your best friend being your partner is magical. My second wife was my best friend. We worked together, enjoyed a lot of the same things. We would want to be in the same room. I could be reading while she was on the computer. Even when we fought, I still wanted to be near her. If she says no, then she says no. It will be awkward for a while. But you two will work through it. She accepts you for who you are, wants to be a hero as well, and does not bat an eye at your past. Then how do I do it? Ask her to the dance. Not her and Mina or Ijiro, just her. Tell her you want to take her to the dance. And do not you dare text her. Put on your big boy pants and ask her face to face. Mina and Ochako. I was shocked you turned down Hiro, Mina said. Though you said he was cute. He is, but he is not Izuku? WH. What? No, I do not like Izuku like that. Oh, well, that's good. I heard that Lily was confessing to him. She said that after they were paired up for their science product, she thought he was super cute. Lily? I mean, she can. I guess. She was scowling. Okay, I will let her know. Hey, Lily. Ochako reached out and grabbed Mina's arm. Mina waits. What's up, Mina? Lily asked as she walked up. Lily was pretty tall, slim, blonde hair. Can I borrow your science notes real quick? Sure, here you go, just give them to be back in class. Why not ask Izuku? I may have told him that I took my own notes and didn't need his. Mina blushed. Lily laughed, handed over her notes, and walked away. Ochako narrowed her gaze at her best friend. She wasn't going to confess, was she? Nope, but at least you are being honest with yourself for once. I will throw you out an airlock someday. Izuku and Ochako. Hey, Ochako, would mind hanging back after class? I want to talk to you for a minute. Sure, Izuku, is everything okay? Yes. After class, Mina dragged Ijiro out of the room, demanding his help with something. So, what is up, Izuku? So, Ochako, I wanted to know if you would go to the dance with me? Oh, you mean all of us? Izuku blushed. No, Ochako, just you and me. Like, go to dinner, then the dance. Like, together. It took Ochako a minute to process. OMG, he is asking me on a date. Breath, just breath. Yes, Izuku, I would like that very much. -1 month later, school dance. They were nervous. She wore an absolutely stunning black dress that hugged her perfectly. It took Izuku 2 solid minutes to say something, which was wow. Mr. Tracy had to calm him down so he could give present her corsage. They went to dinner at a modest restaurant. They arrived at the dance, took pictures, and were joined by Mina and Ijiro at their table. Mina dragged them onto the dance floor. Ochako started to relax more, which had Izuku relaxing. They were all dancing together when the music slowed. Ochako was going to step away. "I swear to any god you worship, if you don't take her hand, I will murder you. This is why we gave the DJ a tip. Now do it." The music softened. Izuku reached out and gently took Ochako's hand. "Will you dance with me, please?" Ochako blushed as he pulled her close. He placed his hand on her hip. They both blushed. He took her hand and began to move slowly to the song. "Love, I get so lost sometimes. Days pass and this emptiness fills my heart. When I want to run away, I drive off in my car. But whichever way I go, I come back to the place you are. All my instincts, they return. The grand facade so soon will burn. Without a noise, without my pride, I reach out from the inside. Ochako, are you having a nice time?" "Yes, Izuku, I am. In your eyes. The light, the heat in your eyes. I am complete in your eyes. I see the doorway in your eyes. To 1,000 churches in your eyes. The resolution in your eyes. Of all the fruitless searches in your eyes. Oh, I see the light and the heat in your eyes. Oh, I want to be that complete. I want to touch the light, the heat I see in your eyes. Love, I don't like to see so much pain. So much wasted, and this moment keeps slipping away. I get so tired working so hard for our survival. I look to the time with you to keep me awake and alive." Their movement slowed, as they just were looking at each other, green eyes lost in a sea of warm brown eyes. "And all my instincts, they return. And the grand facade so soon will burn. Without a noise, without my pride, I reach out from the inside. In your eyes, your eyes, your eyes. Ochako, Izuku, in your eyes. In your eyes. The light, the heat in your eyes. I am complete in your eyes. I see the doorway. To 1,000 churches in your eyes. The resolution in your eyes. I really like you a lot. I wanted to know if you would be my girlfriend." Ochako heart thumped. "That depends. Then, of all the fruitless searches. Oh, I see the light and the heat in your eyes. Oh, I want to be that complete in your eyes. I want to touch the light, the heat I see in your eyes. Kiss me right here, right now." His heart thumped. He looked at her lips. "Do not think for once, just act." He placed his hand on the side of her face and leaned down and kissed her. It was tender. Her arms slipped around his neck. He wrapped his around her waist. Mina squealed. Ijiro just smiled. "In your eyes. In your eyes. In your eyes. In your eyes, in your eyes. In your eyes. In your eyes, in your eyes. In your eyes, in your eyes." As they broke apart, "Yes, I would like nothing more." Mina, to her credit, waited until they got back to the table before squealing and hugging her friends. Ijiro patted Izuku on the back. "How manly." After the dance, his mom picked them up. He walked her to her door. They shyly said goodnight, both waiting for a second before Mr. Tracy kindly informed Izuku. "She wants another kiss, you moron." He leaned in. This kiss was different. The heat had increased. He was about to pull back when she pulled his head into hers. She moaned softly into his mouth. Their tongues lightly touched before clumsily fighting. They were engrossed. So engrossed they didn't notice the door open and her mom standing there. Well, I take it you two had a good night." They jumped back from each other, blushing furiously. "Say good night, Ochako." "Good night, Izuku." "I had a good night." She slipped past her mom and into the apartment. "Night, Ochako." "Night, Mrs. Uraraka." "Night, Izuku." Izuku raced downstairs. His mom kindly told him he was wearing lipstick before her son tried to sink into the car seat. Izuku and Ochako learned a very important thing. They really like to kiss. It took Mina 2 whole days to get the details out of Ochako. Inko cried, of course. Her boyfriend congratulated him. Ochako's father had a private talk with Izuku. Ijiro nearly pissed himself laughing when Izuku finally told him what her father had said. Mr. Tracy would laugh every time he thought of it. Izuku was walking back to the train after study session at Ochaco's, looking up at the stars. His life had become something he had only dreamed of. He rode the train back near his house. As he made his way home, he saw a home on fire. He called 911 and was on the phone when he heard screams inside the house. I have to do something. The fire department won't make it in time. Water. Douse yourself in water. There is a hose right there. For the love of God, Izuku, be careful. Are not you going to talk me out of it? I would love to, but you are already at the door, dumbass. Izuku realized he had started running towards the house. The neighbors were coming out as they heard the yells. He doused himself in water as the neighbors were yelling at him to stop. He kicked open the door. The fire flared out, forcing him to stumble back. He raced in and found a man lying on the floor. He checked him quickly. The man had a bullet wound to the head. Izuku saw the gun lying on the floor by the man's hand and gas can nearby. He heard the screams. Where are you? Help, help, we are trapped in the bathroom. Be careful, he is crazy. He stumbled down the hall and found the bathroom door, flames all around the frame. The door was a sliding one and had been wedged shut from the outside. Stand back. He kicked the door down. He saw a woman with a bullet wound to the shoulder and her son huddled in the bathtub with the water running. He scrambled past the flames. Come on, we need to get out of here. The fire department are on the way, but they won't make it time. What about? He can't hurt you. Soak the towels, wrap them around the kid, get him on your back, get the woman, and get the fuck out of here. He grabbed the bath towels and dunked them in the water. Hey, what is your name? 𝗵𝗃, the boy responded. Okay, 𝗵𝗃, I need your help to get your mom out of here. I want you to wrap this towel around your head like a mask and get on my back. I am going to get you guys out of here. I know you're scared, but I need to brave for me, okay? Can you be brave for 1 minute? Just count for me, okay? Wrap your head and count, okay? The boy wrapped himself and climbed onto Izuku's back. He slipped his arm around the mother. I'm Kiri, please save 𝗵𝗃. I will, I promise, but I am going to save you too. He is going to need you. He got her up. Okay, 𝗵𝗃, close your eyes and start counting for me. He was never so glad that his sensei had pushed strength training so much. They pushed through the flames. They were almost out when he heard a terrible sound. The roof started to fall. He was not going to make it. Suddenly, it is okay because I am here. Go, young man, I got this. Go, God damn it. Izuku raced out the house, stumbling into the arms of a few of the neighbors. They helped him and family get away from the house. As they stumbled to the ground, Izuku started yelling for towels and he took the wet towels and began to apply pressure. He felt a strong hand on his shoulder. It is okay, young man, let me step in. Izuku stumbled away, taking a seat on the grass before falling back and taking a deep breath. Good job, kid, good job. Some of the adults ran to him. He just gave them a thumbs up as the paramedics and fire department arrived. They insisted that he be taken to the hospital due to smoke inhalation. He was in his room waiting for the police and his mom to arrive. He had called her. He was about to text his friends to let them know he wouldn't be in school. I would text Mina and Ijiro, but if you text Ochako, you are going to be in a world of trouble. Trust me, she will want to hear your voice. Yeah, you're right. The door opened. Never fear, for I am here. All Might, what are you doing here? Where's my bag? I need to get his autograph. Would he maybe sign some for my friends? Holy cow. I mean, this is so cool. Calm down, kid. Where is your bag? Ha 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 ha. Oh crap, I said that out loud. It in the corner, sir. Okay, now what's you and your friends' names? All Might walked over and opened the bag, pulling out Hero Analysis 13. As he flipped, though, he was taken back at the detail and information he found. He found the blank pages and signed it for before handing it over to the boy. Thank you so much, All Might. Not a problem, anything for a fan. Hey, All Might, would you answer a question please before you leave? Sure. Do you think I can be a hero even without a quirk? You do not have a quirk? And you ran into that house fire anyway? My feet just started moving on their own. Is that so? What is your name, young man? Izuku Midoriya. Well, young Midoriya, what you did was very brave. Reckless but brave. All true heroes move to help people without thinking. You didn't run away from the fire, you ran into it, and you saved 2 lives tonight. I believe that answers the question for you. But yes, young Midoriya, I think you can be a hero. Izuku wiped the tears from his eyes. Thank you, All Might. I have been training and everything. I just needed to hear that it wasn't just a crazy dream from someone on the outside. I think you are an exceptional young man, Midoriya. In fact, I am going to have an associate of mine reach out to you. His name is Mr. Yagi, so he can give you some advice. Holy cow. Thank you so much, All Might. Now rest up, kid, you did good. With that, All Might left. He called Ochako, who was very concerned at the first about the time that he was calling, then even more concerned when he told her he was in the hospital. Then she reached another gear when he told her why he was there. He felt bad when she started crying. He reassured her that he was fine. They were just taking precautions. He had barely calmed her down when 𝗏𝗏 burst into the room, followed by Alex. That was a whole another mess of tears and his mother fainting. Once she calmed down, Alex was able to calm her further after he read over Izuku's chart. She was not happy about Mr. Tracy's encouragement of his actions. It took a few minutes to explain that he was already about to run into the house before Mr. Tracy made him douse himself in water. Kind of glad she cannot get to me. Lucky you. She can get to me. Oh, this is nothing. Wait till Ochako gets a hold of you. And Mina and Ijiro, not to mention Dr. Dayspring. So what you are telling me, I am about to get yelled at a lot. Oh, for sure, hero.